lovelies. I am going to do a quick little, I don't want to call it a haul, even though it's a haul. It's a haul. I went to Zellers the other day, a couple times actually in the past couple days, because I'm becoming an old lady, and as my friend Josh, he's now calling me the cat lady, because he fears that my newfound adoration for knitting is going to turn me into a cat lady. I'm a dog person, but he insists I'm going to be a cat lady. He asked me how many I have. Anyways. So, old ladiness aside, I actually saw a video recently. It was Kalel Cullen, or Miss Queen Beauty, and she showed us how to crochet a scarf. So I was intrigued, and my grandmother on my mom's side had actually tried to get me to start knitting when I was really little. She gave me a couple needles, a little pink ball of yarn, cast on for me, got a few rows started, and handed it over. I can tell you it went nowhere. It got to about maybe 3 inches. Maybe I did about 3 inches. And then it got lost in a box, moved to another box, tossed around, ignored, forgotten, revived, all that jazz. But it's a really simple concept, and I love the look of knitted and crocheted things, but they can be expensive, and sometimes I don't think this little piece of fabric is worth what people are trying to sell it for. And I worked retail, so I'm allowed to say that. So I have decided that I'm going to knit myself a scarf. And then I decided I was going to knit my dad a scarf. And then he wanted me to knit him a hat. So we'll get there. We'll get there. So I went to Zellers and spent money. Money I always complain I don't have, on stuff for knitting. So the first thing that I got was I had to get a set of needles, because the ones that I thought my grandmother gave me I thought were much smaller, but apparently measuring them up to the sizes in Zellers, they're actually probably about a 6. But anyways, so I picked up a size 8 needle. The actual measurement is 8 millimeters, a US 11. Sorry, so I should. Come on, focus. Anyways, simple numbers. Looks like this. It is one of the larger sizes, although I have to say I found at the second Zellers I was at a US 35. Good grief, people, it was like this big. It was huge. The first yarn that I got that I cannot wait to finish this scarf is called Falling Leaves. If you guys follow my Twitter, go follow me. I tweeted about this when I first picked it up. Picked up a nice gray, because the gray is what I was going to crochet. And this one I wanted to knit because I knew I could probably get the knitting done faster. And it is a beautiful ombre type of yarn. It has oranges, reds into browns, light green, olive green, dark green, and a whole bunch of stuff. And I just think it's so pretty. And I have a few rows done, and because it is, it's not a bulky yarn, it's a worsted yarn, I believe is the word, you know, special lingo. And so right now, like, I have a cramp to one end so I can stick it in there, but it's getting there. It's gonna take me a while, but that's okay, because winter is a long time in Canada. I don't appreciate that, but, you know, I live here, I'm gonna have to deal with it. So those were the first couple of things, and the other yarn that I got then, which is now stabbed with my needles, and this is the one that my grandmother gave me, and they have a significance. They are double-ended, double-pointed needles. There's a D, something, whatever. But I'm not going to use them for their special purpose because I'm not there yet. But this is a thinner one. This is a size 3. It's a sport light. Some of the lingo is kind of lost on me. This one I think was a 4, but on all of the yarns they suggest a needle size and a crochet size. They also usually have free patterns or links to patterns. They tell you the washing instructions, which is very important for me. Both of these two are acrylic. This one is called Granite, I believe it was written somewhere, and made in Turkey, but nothing too special. And then I started doing my research, and this, by the way, is the little ball of yarn. Oh, wow, snap. I actually got a lot farther than I thought. And I've already started tearing it apart. Wow. I didn't even look at it the other day. I just kind of tossed it in there. And now there's a little pink ball of yarn. Ah, it's so tiny. anyways, it was huge to me once when I was all of like this big. Woo! So the first time I went, this was the package that the needles came in, and then this is the crochet hook. She used a 6mm. It's also called a J hook, I believe. Yes, USJ. So that's what that one looks like. So I decided to go on her recommendation because it was her pattern, for lack of a better phrase. And then for my dad's hat, I was wondering how to go about it. And of course, YouTube land is super helpful. So in the progress of that, I ended up figuring out what knitting in the round or using circular needles was and how they would help me. And so the pattern that I found, I will link the website below as well, calls for a 10mm and then a 16-inch cord attachment or length. My store didn't have 10, they had a 9, so you know, I figured that would work. So that's what it looks like. The needles are much shorter themselves as compared to the independent needles, but they have a cord. Also found some other crochet hook sizes, and this was actually, I believe, $12.99, and it was cheaper than getting a whole bunch of the individual ones, because this was about $3. And I think all the crochet hooks are about $2.99, it's $3. So this was actually a good deal. These ones are aluminum, and this one is a plastic. Not that I know any difference, but I would think that aluminum, like a metal, would probably work a little bit better. They also have wood ones, and there's a whole bunch of craziness. So, for a hat, I asked my dad what color hat he wanted, and of course, being boring, he said black. So, looking at the different patterns, you see how much yarn you need, and the yardage, and the meters, and all that stuff. So I ended up getting a hefty, and I mean hefty ball of yarn in black, because someone else is going to want a black hat, and I don't want to just run out or only have like a little bit left. So, bam! Look how huge this thing is. It's ginormous, okay? It is 1 pound of yarn. I believe it says 1 pound on here somewhere. Maybe not. And again, and this one is bulky because it's recommended for hats to go wool, go like the wool route. This is acrylic, but there's bulky and worsted, and bulky is, this one's a 5. I'm really not sure how much it goes up to. 5 might just be the biggest one. But you want something a little bit thicker. It also helps it to knit faster. So that's what it looks like. There's this one. And then for myself, I ended up finding a wool blend. It was a wool acrylic, I believe. And it is this gray. And guys, oh, it is so soft. I love it. And it looks kind of funny, but I don't really care. I think it'll be such a cute thing. I'm going to link, I believe it's Knit Picks, and that's the YouTube I found, and they also have a website, they have tutorials, free patterns, books to buy, and everything a knitter or crocheter will need. So I will link all that stuff below, as well as the hat pattern that I'm going to do. I haven't started yet, but I might do a kind of Knit with Sydney episode, if I can think I'm proficient enough. But anyways, so that is the end of my little knitting session, and hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you soon. Bye. It was like this big. It was huge, and dirty jokes aside, because one just ran through my head, moving on. So my dad called these the little kid mittens of needles, because when little kids have the string of their mitts so they can't lose them, they just kind of hang on their coat.